All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto you. How about Shema, Abishai, by Shema, Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostle and others, great millstone. Shalom to other Akim out there pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. Yeah, I wanted to, touch on this article with Russia. Excuse me, I was just looking at something real fast. But speaks about Russia readies its Poseidon's doomsday weapon as the world stumbles to the brink of nuclear conflict. Yeah, things are getting closer and closer. A lot of people think that we just some quacks or charlatans that just repetitiously say the same thing, and it's basically unverified or it's a lie. But when you go into the actual biblical prophecy, Russia is written there, America is written there, Iran is written there, China is written there. These major nations, and it speaks about a major nuclear conflict that's going to take place, a nuclear exchange and a fallout, man. And we see these things taking place in modern times. These different nations are putting a huge amount of money into their military budget, as it is written, beat your plowshares into pruning hooks, or your pruning hooks into plowshares. One of the other, if I'm not mistaken, it's the plowshares and the pruning hooks. Basically taking all your resources and transferring it from certain budgets, like agriculture. When you would use plowshares and you would use these different agricultural weapon or equipment, it was coming from the, your federal budget, or your personal budget, things of that nature. But it dealing in terms of federal, a lot of that money is being transferred towards military might, elevating their expertise, better aerial equipment, submarines, fighter jets, so on and so forth. Especially the main weapon, which is the end all be all, which is the thermonuclear missile. So it says Russia readies its Poseidon doomsday weapon as the world stumbles to the brink of nuclear conflict. So I'm going to get into it. It says, in the game of nuclear chicken, one of the potential outcomes is that everybody loses. Yeah. And Russia's talking their mess. Korea's talking their mess. China's talking their mess. America, as well, as talking their mess. And what are these different nations talking about? A nuclear conflict. So it says, it's just one mistake away, and that should deeply alarm all of us. But as I discussed in the previous article, most people don't seem to care. Instead, most people just seem to assume that our leaders have everything under control and that they know exactly what they are doing. Unfortunately, the truth is that they are completely nuts. They just decided to escalate the war in Ukraine again, and they are dragging us to the brink of nuclear conflict. And Russia's not backing down. I seen an article where Russia basically said, if they lose this war in Ukraine, they're basically going to shoot missiles on them. They're gonna deploy missiles, not even necessarily deploy, but they're going to actually have a nuclear exchange if they're willing to take in there. That's their ace in the hole. And I've been looking at a lot of media coverage, online, more so. Sometimes it's the radio, but a lot of people are saying that Russia's getting their asses kicked over there in Ukraine. They're getting a lot of their, their tanks. A lot of the, their personnel is dwindling. They're getting hit hard when it comes to, this war in Ukraine, because Ukraine is getting supplied with top-notch American weapons, and that's fine, because what it's going to do is accelerate, the end, WW3. Because when all these things pop off, when war and havoc is running rampant on the streets, we all know that Yahweh Shai is going to make his return, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, So we don't have nothing to fear. That's why it speaks about fret not. Don't be scared. Don't be all, jacked up in the spirit about what's going on around you, because we know that the end is nearer than we believe. So it says they just decided to escalate the war in Ukraine again, and they are dragging us to the brink of nuclear conflict. Of course, once a nuclear war starts, the option of choosing new leaders will be gone. So it says this week it is being reported that the Russians have just completed the construction of the first batch of Poseidon Doomsday weapons. The first batch of Poseidon nuclear capable underwater drones for the Protect 09852 special purpose nuclear powered submarine Belgorod has been manufactured, a source close to the Russian military and defense industry told TASS on Monday. So, all these different weapons that they're putting their energy and their effort towards, their finances, they're going to be used. I'm going to jump to this individual part of the article. But it says, when most people hear the word drone, they think of something very small. But these Poseidon drones are actually the largest torpedoes that have ever been created in the history of the world by a wide margin. In fact, we are being told that each one is more than 60 feet long. According to Russian sources and Western intelligence, it's enormous. It weighs more than 200,000 pounds, has a diameter of around 6 feet, and a length of more than 60 feet. It's so big that the Belgorod can only carry 6 of them. This would make it the largest torpedo ever developed and deployed by any country in the world. Yeah, so, the Lord is putting a spirit on these different nations, to get ready for this nuclear exchange to take place. Hey, when the scriptures speak about, I have created the smith and the waster, matter of fact, I'm going to get that. Isaiah 56:10, if I'm not mistaken. Isaiah, one second. Yeah, 54:17 or 16. But it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Yeah. So that ultimately goes into the missiles. And you see that these different nations are heavily developing their arsenal, because they know that it's going to get worse and worse from here. They're not taking these things lightly. They're not taking these threats lightly. They're not taking this war lightly. Their whole thing in America, as well as some of these other countries, is to keep the people quailed and keep them distracted with bread and circus, so that they don't understand what times that we're living in, But we understand, That's why scriptures speak about, for those that actually have eyes to see, to proclaim his word on the rooftops. So we go to the highways and byways as well as our personal platforms, and we speak and warn, warn about the dangers and the woes to come, so that you can get ready for what's to come. All right, it's as simple as that. But I didn't have it short and sweet. Just wanted to go through this article. Hopefully, brothers and a few sisters edified them. Anybody giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Kakwadash, the bonds of the apostles, elders, of great millstone. Shalom, Maki.